Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're getting right into it. I'm not gonna waste your time with a big intro or anything. It's my husband's birthday weekend and I need to make him this stew. It is currently 11:37. I want this to be ready by about 4:35. So I got about 6.5 hours. It takes 5 to 7 hours in a slow cooker. So I really need to get moving. The beef stew is what he likes and it gets a little complicated. So I will explain more as we go, but for right now, I'm just gonna pull up the recipe, get everything out and start cooking because my son's down for a nap. It's time to go. All right, let's get everything out. We need paprika, butter, and salt. We have our boneless chuck. It's still thawing on the counter. Hopefully it'll be done in time to put in the slow cooker. Okay, we need garlic powder, 2 potatoes, and dry mustard. It says 2 potatoes, I'm doing 3 because these are pretty small. I might actually add a 4th. Okay, carrots, onion powder, green bell. Okay, oregano, cayenne pepper. Cumin, black pepper, and white pepper is what it calls for. Turns out black pepper and white pepper are the same thing, it's just a different color, so I'm just gonna substitute black pepper and white pepper. Cumin and pepper. And then I'm also supposed to have caraway seeds. I don't think I have them and they didn't have them at the store, so I might just be skipping them. I did find a few caraway seeds, so. Okay, as you can tell, there's a decent amount of ingredients here. So let's get started. Now, this recipe walks through how to make the stock, which I'm not doing. Oh, that's another thing I forgot, is just beef stock. So I just bought beef stock from the store. Okay, so I'm supposed to combine the seasoning mix ingredients in a small bowl, melt the butter in a 5-quart pot, and when it begins to sizzle, add the meat and brown on all sides. Okay, I guess oh, it is thaw enough. So I'm gonna get out my big Dutch oven. Just as a fair warning, this Dutch oven looks way dirtier and grosser than it is. I bake my sourdough in here and I feel like it's ruined it. Okay, so I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of butter. Okay, we're gonna add our seasoning, all of our seasoning into a small bowl. This is quite the interesting recipe. Okay, 4 tablespoons of paprika, which is actually a lot. I have more of this if I run out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, set that aside. 4 teaspoons of salt. Okay, teaspoons of garlic powder. 2 teaspoons of dry mustard. 2 teaspoons of onion powder. This is a very flavorful, very delicious stew. The recipe is, I wouldn't say the easiest to make because we're gonna be blending things, we're gonna be putting it in a slow cooker, we're dividing and cooking things in stages, so I would not say that this is just the simplest thing to just throw together, not a one-pot meal by any means, but it's worth it. Okay, 2 teaspoons of oregano. My butter is sizzling, so I gotta throw in the meat really soon. Okay, 1.5 teaspoons of caraway. 1.5 teaspoons of cayenne. 1 teaspoon of cumin. Or cumin, I don't know how to say that. And 2 teaspoons of pepper. Okay, we mix that all together and that's your spice mix. Now I'm taking 3 pounds of stew meat or chuck roast and browning it in the pot. Okay, I'm making a concerted effort to clean as I go, so I'm gonna throw all the spices away really quick just so I can clear my area and deal with the vegetables. I'm gonna keep checking on that as we go, but let's start with the vegetables. So I need to add half of the potatoes, half the carrots, and half the bell peppers to the pot once that meat is browned. So I'm gonna brown that meat and then I take it out once it's all browned. It doesn't have to be cooked all the way through, but then you take half the potatoes, half the carrots, half the peppers, and add them to the pot that you just took the meat out of. So we need to peel and dice all of these. Now what has made this recipe and many other recipes just so much better is this chopper. If you do not have this chopper and you make any sort of chili or stew, you just gotta have the chopper. I know it feels like cheating if you're busy at all. This saves so much time. Hey Siri, how many cups is one green bell pepper diced? Okay, so since I'm putting half of all this in the pot eventually, I am just chopping off one green bell pepper. Now watch how quick this is, honestly. Okay, we need 4 large carrots total. So I'm gonna do 2 large carrots. And actually, I think I'm gonna do 3 because these aren't that large. Okay, we're making progress there. The core of my stew meat was a little bit frozen still, so I'm kind of browning it and thawing it at the same time. So it's gonna take a little bit longer, which gives me enough time to prep all these. Now, usually when I'm peeling potatoes, I try to like put out a paper towel and peel them all on the paper towel and have it all look pretty, like have it all be kind of nice. And then then I can clean it up easily, but I'm not doing it with that much care, which might actually end up causing me more time. You know, it happens when you cut corners, and it ends up costing me more time. So I probably should have taken the time to lay out a towel, but that's okay. I'm gonna set everything else aside, clean up all my scraps. Okay, all the chunks are pretty much broken up. Now they're just finishing browning up, and then we'll add the rest of the stuff to the pot. Check back in a minute. All right, the meat is now all browned, so I'm gonna take it out, put it in a bowl, set it aside, and add my vegetables. And then we add our vegetables. Okay, the next step is to cover the pot and cook it for 10 to 12 minutes until the potato is tender. During the 10 to 12 minutes, I'm gonna prep the second half of the vegetables, because what we're gonna do once this is tender is put it in a blender, blend it up. It makes like basically the stock sort of broth almost. So then you throw the rest of the vegetables in with the meat, with that blended sauce, and then that's what you slow cook for your 5 to 6 hours. So I'm gonna cut up the rest of the vegetables while this preps, get out the blender, start prepping all that, and I'll see you back in a couple minutes. It's probably about 10 minutes later. I have all the vegetables prepped. It doesn't seem like the potatoes are quite tender yet. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get out my blender. The transfer to the blender always proves to be kind of difficult, so I'm gonna take a ladle and grab all the big chunks of things and then just pour the remaining, so hopefully I don't spill stuff everywhere. I think we're about ready. I'm gonna add 1 cup of my stock and then my seasoning mix. Mix that all around, and we'll see how this goes. That worked. We have all of our stuff in the blender. I'm really hoping my baby doesn't wake up because there's a soup option on my Vitamix, so let's try that. Okay, he didn't wake up. The soup level wanted it to go up to like level 7, which was simply going to be too loud. So level 5 worked fine. I think that soup option will actually heat up your soup. So we didn't need it to be that intense. Ours is already hot. So I'm feeling good about it. All right, as you can see, I'm breaking out the slow cooker now. Okay, now I'm putting this back in the pot, putting the meat back in, bringing it to a boil till it just starts to stick. Then we're gonna put it in the slow cooker. So I told you, this stew's a lot of steps. Now that our meat's back in, we add the vegetables. I think I just add the rest of the beef stock. It doesn't really say. I'm just gonna add some and then keep an eye on it as it's in the slow cooker today and add more if needed. I added probably 3/4 of the quart. Now we just turn it on low for 5 to 7 hours and we're good. I'm gonna clean up the kitchen. I'll check back when it's closer to done and I'll show you the final product. Okay, sadly I did forget to come back and show you the stew. I took this picture of it though. This is what it looks like at the very end. It was absolutely perfect. This fed about 6 people pretty well. I would double the recipe if you're throwing a big party or anything, but it comfortably feeds 6 people. I made mashed potatoes with it and a Caesar salad. So we had a few sides, but it was very, very good. Again, this is not the easiest stew by any means, but it is the best. So I would highly recommend making it. I have the recipe linked down in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you back next time for another video. Bye everyone.